What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in each and every one of you nightmares out there. Boy, you're giving me bad dreams. I am scared so much of you, every one of you. You're so scary, and I have a fear of you. Fear of you is my card. One, Goku. Just be afraid of everybody all the time. Hello and welcome in. Welcome on in, each and every one of you. Everybody come on in, have a seat. This is Hunt the Week. It is a weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the Arena Gauntlet League that we know, love, and play in. I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home, the Pride of Mardu. And it's scary in here, right? It's scary. We're trapped in this scary house. But we're going to get out. We're going to do it together. Or we're going to planeswalk away and it'll just be fine. Yes, that's true. This is Hunt the Week. This is Duskmourne Week 3. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm having a blast. Again, I love this set. This set is so good. I can't get enough of it. I had a really good Magic week outside of the league. In the league, we're going to talk about it as we call for help.
And the only door to the outside locks like a vault. There's no electricity, no phone, no one within miles, so no way to call for help. Like a coffin.
That's right. As I record, it is 4 p.m. on Thursday, the 17th, and this is your Duskmourne Top 8. Sawyer T, Soy Boy, 4-1, sitting at 12-3. Congrats, Sawyer. Haven't seen your name on the top in a while. I bet that feels great. Neil E, Lotus Lore. Is this a new name? It's not a name I recognize, so it very much could be a new name. Love to see new players up here. 4-1 to be at also at 12-3. Zach H, Hack Zolt, 11-4. Daniel G, Frisky Hobbit, 11-4. Caleb G, Why Not, 11-4. Thomas C. Jamboree, 11-4. Keelan T. Doofel, 11-4. And Jordan M. J.M. Trong, 10-5. So in the top 8, our dread count, no one is under 60. The lowest dread count, 64. But we got an 80, 278, a 72. People are opening Duskmourne because they think it's the way to go, and it's working out. They're in the top 8. How can you deny the positions of Keelan T. Doofel, of Caleb G. Why Not, who has stated he will only take Duskmourne, and I hope that's what's happening. I don't really know. Let's look at the 5-0s. Ryan M. Rern sitting at 9-6, 46 card deck. That 5-0, that small deck, really must be helping him out. What else do we got? Cody Race 5-0 sitting at 8-7, and Eric C. Evan C. Peas of Crab also a 5-0. And all the 5-0s kind of had smaller decks. They're all under 60 cards. So it's working out for them. It's working out for Cody. It's working out for Evan. And it is working out for Ryan M. That's really cool, because I wasn't sure about the low deck strategy. But if people, like, once you start going 5-0, you go 5-0 again, you're creeping up, and your deck is small. You got to, like, I want to see these 40-card decks battle these 80-card decks. That's what I want to see. Has it been happening? I don't know, but I want to see it. So, how did I do? Well, I got water back this week. That was exciting. Yesterday, got water back. 3 weeks without water. Not magic related, sorry, but I got water. It's back. Well, I can't drink it, or I can shower and do laundry. That's the important part. I am nothing if not consistent with Duskmourne, going 2-3 every single week so far. Currently sitting at 6-9. Pretty bad record for me. But I love my deck. I don't know. I don't know what to do because I really like my deck. I like the cards. I like how it plays. I have a blast playing it. It just doesn't win great. So now I'm trying to look at other decks, and I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on this one. I don't know if I'm feeling any other decks. I got to play my practices. And that's the other thing. I've been playing tons of practice games because I love this format so much. I'm really enjoying the practices. So it's not like I'm not getting my reps in. But yeah, we got to practice more. We got to move some things around, change some cards possibly. Because this 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, that's not working out. I mean, 6-9? I'm probably not making it to week 5. And that, I did that once last year, I guess. Yeah, a year of play. I did that once last year. Starting off, maybe I just get the bad one out of the way, and then we go from there. But besides that, I've had a good Magic week. We had there was a qualifier over the weekend that you could use play points in, and I had a bunch of play points, so I did a qualifier. Again, I've been loving Duskmourne. I like doing the risky drafts and sets that I really like. So yeah, did a Duskmourne qualifier, got there, went 7, lost my first game, won the next 7 in a row. I couldn't lose again. Got the qualifier. That means I get to play in some sealed thing this weekend. That's kind of exciting. I don't really know what's going on, but hey, exciting. And then let's see what else. Oh, and then they had the Open, which I was able to day 2, had a nutty pool, went from making the qualifier, won a bunch of gems, took those gems, did an Open, day 2'd the Open. I didn't have a lot of luck in day 2. Deck was good actually, but just drew poorly and mulliganed a lot. But to make 2 big qualifiers in one day, great Magic week for me. And again, I'm loving this Duskmourne set. The League Duskmourne has been going really cool, really good. Looks like we're still seeing a lot of Duskmourne packs and a lot of Theros packs. So you're either staying Duskmourne and kind of staying on set, or you're trying to lower your deck, and the best way to do that is with Theros. Although, talk to my guest who's on the show coming in a little bit. They think MKM could be the way to go, and I really liked their thought process. So look forward to that. But it's week 3 of Duskmourne. You're either doing great or you're not. And again, I really hope people are liking it. The dread mechanic, it's cool. I like it. I like the design space. I'm having a good time with it. I wish there was a little more, maybe. Maybe I wish there was a little more to this one. I feel like the dread mechanic's cool, but it's kind of a lot to keep track of, and I don't know. I just want maybe a little more. But hey, that's me. Maybe I've just been spoiled by all the leagues in the last year, so I want all these big fancy bells and whistles. But hey, we got a guest to get to. We got a whole show to get to. So let's go ahead. Let's find out what is your favorite scary movie.
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
That's right. This week I had on Tony G. Why not rock? Tony was 9-1 coming into week 2, had a dread level of 18. So the first loss he was going to take, he was going to add 18 cards to his deck. He took that loss. He added those 18 cards. And I wanted to talk to him about what that was like. What it was like, being afraid of losing and what that would mean for him. And also, how do you add 18 cards to your deck? What do you do? What's your plan? What's your strategy? Tony's still doing great. He's still in the top 16 at 10-5. And as always, Tony is a joy to talk to. He's been on the show a couple times before. Love having Tony on. Go ahead and listen to my interview with Tony now. All right, everyone, join me this week as we find out what is your favorite scary movie with none other than Tony G, a.k.a. Why Not Rock. Welcome to the show, Tony.
What's up?
Hey, not much. Good to have you back. Good. You've been on the show a couple times. You came in, was it OTJ was the last time I think we saw you? Was that the buyback league? Or was that
No, it was afterwards. I did not witness the chaos of OTJ.
The chaos, that was the last really chaotic one, was OTJ. But it was a hoot. It was a hoot and a half. You came back. Oh man, now I have to figure out what was after OTJ.
It was MH3, I believe.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a fun one.
That was a great one. I loved MH3 as a set, and as a league, it was also pretty great. I think I only I don't think I did incredibly well. I think it was top half, but
you're Tony G. You always do at least top half. Are you kidding me? You're Tony G.
I was somewhere not top 16. I know that. I would have remembered that at least.
Hey, we're all reaching for that gold, reaching for that glory, and you are off to the races already in Duskmourne, and that's where we're going to start. You're doing great. You got a positive record. You're in the top 8 last I checked, which was either earlier today or last night. I don't remember. But you got a high dread count. I want to know, Tony, what's helping you win? What's helping you do it? How are you doing it?
I went right now. I'm 10-5. Was doing great through the first 2 weeks of league. I just decided to win all my games, and that seemed to do the trick.
That's a good stance to have. Just win and you're fine.
Yeah. No, I opened a pretty solid pool of, well, I only say I have two bombs. I have a lot of very cohesive uncommons.
Okay.
And so I have a pretty deep pool right now where I don't feel like I'm playing very many bad cards. Um,
Nice.
and as well as that, I have a crap ton of card draw. Um,
That does
and
help, doesn't it?
yeah, and combine card draw with dread means that even if you only have a couple of bombs, you're kind of gonna see them every game.
Hmm.
Which I think is one of my like experiences with the league overall is that if somebody's got a bomb and they're playing green or a decent amount of dread creation at least,
Sure.
uh, they're gonna find that bomb.
Yeah.
It's kind of inevitable. I just played a game this morning against Daniel G, Frisky Hobbit,
Hmm.
who has a dream trawler,
Oh
and
yeah.
that dream trawler showed up every game. It was very yeah, very consistent and very frustrating, but it's all good.
Hey, it's part of magic. Although that's part of magic from like what 8 years ago, 7 years ago, or whatever. Dream Trail
Yeah.
when they were printing hexproof draw cards.
Oh gosh, yeah, at rare too.
Yeah. Oh, what a oof, what a beating that card is. And I don't know about your experience, Tony, but I agree. I'm seeing two kinds of decks right now out here in Duskmourne League. I'm seeing the go long. We're drawing all our cards till we find our combo or our bomb or whatever. Or I'm seeing a decent amount of aggro. Maybe not a decent amount, but I'm losing to it, so it's out there. Uh, but like I'm either seeing like go real long, draw 1,000 cards, play 4 colors, or I'm seeing like red white, you're dead on turn 6. Those are the two kinds of decks I'm seeing out there. Is that what you're seeing? Is that your same
Yeah,
journey?
that's been roughly my experience. I will say I have only seen one aggro deck that actually scared me,
Uh-huh.
which was where I got that deck did take me down off my 9 game
Oof.
streak and gave me all my dread. It was it was a red black vampire deck,
Ooh.
which is really neat. I love that he was going Crimson Vow. I wish I could shout out um the pilot here. Trying to see.
Now we can figure it out. This is what the editing's all about, Tony. This is why we edit.
I believe it was Majo G Fortem.
Ooh.
Yeah, was piloting a very nasty red black aggro with a couple of low drop scary vampires and then just like buckets upon buckets of removal.
Hmm.
And um and it was interesting because I've also played against some red black and red white aggro decks where I feel like the Duskmourne low drops don't pack the same punch.
Hmm.
So like there's not nearly as many scary 1 or 2 drops. Like you get more innocuous rats or the 1/1 that dies and exiles a card.
Sure.
Um, so like they don't really smack in as hard as some of the vampires from Innistrad,
Hmm.
which is what I think really made this particular deck function. And yeah, in general, I've just found that the aggro has felt kind of clunky. I'm not particularly scared of it. Um, well, the value engines are terrifying. So
There's so many, and it's so hard to know what you're doing because there's all the different sets, right? Like you said, you got dream trawlers out there now, and that's just from uh Theros, right? Yeah, you got people opening up all these packs, and who knows what some of the bomby buy. I forget what the bombs are in Innistrad. You got that what the thing that gives everything hexproof, and you put counters on everything. Uh,
Averbrook Caretaker, you got
yeah,
the
that was a fun one.
Dreadfast Demon
Ooh, the
that makes more
demon.
demons.
Yeah, who could forget? These are fun. These are not cards you want to see on the other side of the battlefield. These are not fun cards to play against.
No, no. Though I think my general take with the league, I will say, is that there's bombs in every pack.
Hmm.
If you look through and you take the top, 10 rares or 10 cards, in every set, they're going to be terrifying.
Yeah.
Wizards always prints just absolute bangers everywhere. Um, so I don't feel, particularly bad about like, oh man, they got a Dream Trawler out of Theros. I should have gone Theros. Everybody's going to win the lottery at some point.
Right.
So it's I don't think personally the rares should be dictating where you go.
I love it, and what a great segue to our next question. Yeah, like you said, you started out 9-1 with that one being your first match, so you got 9 wins in a row, um, going 9-1. So your dread level was huge. That was what plus 18 cards to your deck on your first loss. You only have one extra pack. Um, what was that like having such a high dread level coming? And follow up, I think, you get 18 dread coming, you're going Theros, you're making -4. Not Tony. Tony goes MKM, -2, the slow whittle down. I want to know the thought process behind choosing MKM. But please, what was it like being so dreadful?
I I assume that other people have been having a similar experience, but playing with Dread has been, I found, quite fun. Even if it is tense and like a slightly negative emotion where you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so destructive. I can't lose. Every game is razor's edge.
Uh-huh.
But that adds it kind of adds some of that week 6 or like mega draft tension into your early games where you're like everything's on the line here. It makes it super competitive and super interesting. I actually love that aspect, even though like all you're doing is you're just trying to avoid this big pile of cards coming
Yeah.
your way.
It's
So
a fun
I loved
mechanic.
it.
I think it's cool. I love that we're exploring this design space because it's interesting. It's very
Yeah.
interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think some people have raised very valid points of the added complexity of having to keep track of your deck, difficulty with like land balancing, and
Hmm.
then like just the management of having to check your opponent's deck size each time you get into a game. But for me personally, I think it's a really interesting way of challenging the status quo and challenging people's perceptions of what a standard should be and what is valuable and what's good,
Yeah.
like yeah.
And
Um
I don't know if there is a right answer. Like you see people with 40 card decks, you see people with 80 card decks, and like the 80 card decks are winning. That's why they got 80 cards, right? Like,
yeah.
so how can you really argue about like deck size and card quality? I don't know. It's really interesting.
I mean, if you look at our top 8 right now, Sawyer at number 1 has 78 dread.
Hmm.
Caleb at number 5 has 80 dread. Thomas has 78 dread. Like these in our top 8, nobody is below 60. Now, obviously, that's just part of how winning goes,
Yeah, yeah.
with this mechanic, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out as the game goes long and as the season goes long. But I think people might be putting a little too much value in the minus dread in Theros
Hmm.
and not enough value in or not understand. I think the deck size doesn't make as much of a difference as people expect it to.
I agree because I got up to 66 and I was like 66 is fine. Like a couple extra cards, a couple more lands. Well,
Yeah.
like what are my percentages really changing here? And you go the other way too. It's like if you go down to like 55, it's like, oh well, you cut a couple lands, you cut a couple bad cards. How much has the deck really changed, you know?
And I've usually experienced towards the end of leagues anyway this difficulty in cutting cards because you have a
Yeah.
glut of riches. Now, sure, your best cards are still better than your 24th or 25th card and
Hmm.
that you're playing, but it's not that much better. And if you can build it right, you can still like draw your way or dread your way to getting your bombs anyway, even in a
Yeah.
larger deck.
And you're not getting milled out. You don't got to worry about that. If I was on 40 cards, I'd be worried about like manifesting myself out of the game. Like it can happen. Like I've had those decks and even in draft in Duskmourne where it's like, oh, I drew 10 cards and manifested 10 things, and now I ran out of cards and I lost. So like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Like I think the mill crab from
Yeah,
Duskmourne is a card that I don't think you want to main deck in this league personally because people are running around with 80 card decks.
sure, sure.
But if you come up against somebody who's got 40 cards, you bring it in out of the sideboard, you've got just an alternate win con that they have to point a Scorching Dragonfire at
Yeah.
or something even better, like it's scary when you get down to low numbers for different reasons.
And a quick sidebar. I'm around 60, I think I'm at like 62, 64. But I ran into a deck that milled me down to two cards because they had the 10-1 that can't be blocked and everything just mills.
Yep.
But I'm playing a reanimator deck. So all they did was like mill out all my bombs and flashback cards, and I was able to use it to win the game. But man, I had a handful of like card draw and like manifest stuff. And I was like, I need to find a way to win this game without drawing two cards. And
Yeah.
it was super fun. It was a blast.
Oh, that's amazing. The other thing I will say that I've just been loving about the chosen sets in Duskmourn as a whole
Mhm.
is just how much graveyard interaction there is.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. You,
Yeah, like you're saying, okay, you milled me, but I can reanimate, I can flashback, I
yeah,
can escape. Like it adds just a guaranteed level of play. You don't just end up with a red-white deck beating down against a green-red deck or something.
no, you don't.
I mean, it probably happens, I'm sure, but there's a whole extra playing field that isn't guaranteed like it is in this league.
I'm loving Duskmore and I can't say enough good things about it. I'm hooked on draft. I love it, Tony, but I want to know. I saw you pick the MKM pack. What made you want to go MKM? Have you only got MKM? Do you have a pack strategy? You got a bunch of cards. You're not trying to whittle it down, it seems, but maybe a little bit. Um, what's your thought process there?
Yeah, so my first pack was Duskmourn because it was my first loss and there was no damage to taking Duskmourn at that point.
Yeah.
Still 60 cards. I want more synergies.
Yep.
Um, after that, I I do think that having a people are too scared of large decks. I
Mhm.
do think that there's value to keeping your deck size down a little bit. I don't think I'm quite on the Caleb G train of just take DSK all the
More,
way. Um,
more.
which it might work out for him. Honestly, all
He's
power
doing
to him.
great.
I love the concept, and I think I would love it if he does, top out the league with it, because I think that is an awesome way to make a statement.
Mhm.
Um, but that being said, I do think there's some value. I don't particularly want to be playing with a 90 or 100 card deck.
Yeah.
So MKM for me offered some modern power level. I do think that like MKM and DSK are far enough ahead of Theros and the Innistrad sets
Mhm.
that I personally value that. I in preparation for this, I went and I took a look through the sets available, and I was just looking at commons and uncommons because, like I
Sure.
said earlier, I don't think saying, oh, there's good rares in Innistrad or there's good rares in Theros has any
Mhm.
value. Sure, you can pick up a Trawler or a Clothis or something, but you can pick up something like that in MKM or DSK as well.
Sure.
And I'm just finding that the commons and uncommons are either too synergistic with Theros only, so you find you're going to have to play more Theros to make them work, or they're just not pulling me in for power level. Like the equivalent cards in the modern sets, same mana costs, same body and just a heck of a lot better of an ability.
Yeah.
It's very like there's a couple standout ones, and in the uncommon slot for sure, there's cards that are pretty valuable in the older sets. But if I think there's just more likelihood that you completely whiff a pack. Or only get one card that improves your deck, and I don't think that that's worth -4 dread.
You're speaking to a guy who minus four and got one card that made his deck better, Tony.
Yeah.
I've
Um,
opened 2 Theros packs. I've maybe added 3 Theros cards.
okay.
And even then, they're cards that I'm like, thank God I got those cards, because without those, like the rest of the pack was unplayable. Like,
Yeah.
I think the commons and uncommons in Theros are they're inconsistent. And there's so many bad ones. There's so many like 2/5 enchantment creatures for 4 or whatever. Like cards you
Hmm.
just don't want to put in your deck, or you're trying to hit a giver. Of course, there's good packs, and I agree. There's good packs in any set, and you can open a bad Duskmourne pack too. I've seen them. Like they're
Oh,
out there.
absolutely.
So like but it's really how much do you value taking cards out of your deck, or like a
Yeah.
smaller deck size?
And someone did point out that the -4 cards kind of acts like a card, right?
Sure.
In that idea that it's countering, you're taking out some lands and some bad cards. So like a -4 on Theros is like a guaranteed card, right? A
Yeah.
guaranteed better card that you're saving, putting in your deck. So that's fair. But for me, I personally don't think it's enough to take it over MKM, is my personal pick here. But I will say before I get into MKM, I think it's also very dependent upon the deck that you're running, the deck that you started with.
Sure. Yeah.
That red black aggro deck that I faced absolutely doesn't want to take anything other than Crimson Vow. Like that.
Yeah.
They've got vampire synergies, they've got a plan, they're going to be sticking to it. And I think if you started in certain colors, you're more inclined to take certain packs, and so like if you started very enchantment heavy, I think you might be more inclined to take Theros, and I think that's more valuable because there are decent numbers of enchantments and enchantment matters cards in there.
Mhm.
And then I think that you're more likely to find something that works. But if you just started like red white aggro, I don't think there's much going for you there.
Yeah. I totally
Um,
agree.
yeah. And so that's why I also went MKM, is MKM has disguise,
Yes.
and disguise works really well with all the face down matters cards.
Hmm.
Um, there's a lot of really funky plays you can do with disguise, where if you dread a disguise creature, you can turn it up for its mana cost, which is often way cheaper than its disguise
Oh,
cost.
yeah. Cool.
So things like Flourishing Bloomkin, 5 mana to flip it over from MKM, but only 2 mana to flip it over from DSK.
Yeah. You
Um,
still get the 2 lands.
you still get all the
Yeah.
bonuses. Yeah.
Ooh, I like
Um,
it.
Greenbelt Radical, 7 mana to flip up regularly, 4 mana if you dread it. Um, so there's other
I
things
like
that like
this.
care about face up creatures
Sure.
or face down. Um, Overall, and like it's not as much of an enchantment matters set. I don't particularly care about enchantments. I have a lot of dread things. So overall, I kind of looked at this and I was like, I think in the commons and uncommons, I can get a lot of value from MKM. And so far, I think I have. I think I've been hitting well.
Are you just on an MKM the rest of the way, or is there a world where you see yourself switching off of MKM? You go on another 10 game win streak, do you want to go less, or you get a big loss streak coming? Are you switching back to Duskmourn?
I think I'm kind of Duskmourn MKM all the way at this
Yeah.
point. I don't see anything really pushing me off of that. I don't see much value from the other sets for the way my deck is built right now. I could absolutely see value in going back to Duskmourn, getting a few more synergy pieces. I've got a
Hmm.
lot, but a couple more could help. Um, and right now, every time I open an MKM pack, I'm getting a couple of very good playable cards that I'm quite happy to put in, and that's also keeping my dread level manageable. So
And I agree. Once you get so many cards, it's like I'm at 60 Dread 64. I'm having a tough time making cuts. It's like I could be at Dread 70. I got the cards for it. Like I can
yeah,
slot in more removal or whatever once you get so many packs.
oh yeah,
It's that first loss when you went from 60 up to 78 or whatever. That's
yeah.
that's the tough one, right?
The only thing I would say that I've been really changing a little bit in how I build the or decks is like putting more incidental card draw if I can, or not incidental, but like dedicated card draw.
Hmm.
So valuing like the room that draws three discard one a little
So
bit.
good. So good.
Yeah. It's interesting. I kind of started very high on that in regular Duskmourn and then came down on it. And in League, I've come kind of back up on it just because it draws through a big deck so well, you know.
Yeah. In League, it's perfect. It's, slow down the thing that's killing you, draw some cards, or use it to get damage through later. I love that card. Card's so good.
Yeah.
Well, our next
So-
question was about strategy, but I feel like we covered it pretty good, Tony. Uh, so let's get to the real serious question here, and that is, what is your favorite scary movie? It's holiday season. It's time for spooky time. We are in Duskmourne, trapped in a haunted house. Do you like scary movies, Tony?
I enjoy the occasional scary movie.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I'm like not one to be going out and watching horror movies all the time. But every once in a while I'll watch, some of the more calm, not I don't want to say calm, but like
That nice,
I'm
relaxing horror film.
a nice relaxing horror film. Uh yeah, no, but like some of the more casual, not like I like the thrillers or like the little bit more suspense, not just the fully bloody
I love it.
horror. Yeah.
Any that come to mind? Any Rex for our fans out there? Our Tony
Yeah,
G Why Not Rock fans?
I think my favorite probably has to be the original Alien.
Ooh, that is a good answer. That is a
Yeah.
good answer.
Not one that I don't know if you would necessarily call it a dedicated horror, but I think it counts, or at least
Totally
thriller.
counts. I would
Yeah.
say Alien One is a horror movie. Aliens is more of an action movie. Um,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Alien it's a classic horror movie. It's a monster movie. The monster you don't really get. It's like Jaws. You don't really get to see it that much, but it's what you don't see that's really scary, and everyone's getting
Yeah.
picked off one by one. Totally about a horror movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Alien is one that I have recommended to people. I've had a lot of friends who are like, "Oh, I haven't seen some of these classes." I'm like, "Wait, you haven't seen Alien? Okay, we're watching it tonight, you know."
Sit down.
So
I got the popcorn.
yeah, exactly. And typically afterwards, like, "Wow, that was a great idea. I'm so glad we watched that movie."
Have
So
you? Did you see
yeah.
the new Alien? Are you an Alien fan? Do you like the Alien movies?
I think after the first one, they went down considerably, in my opinion. I mean, I like the second one too. Um, I didn't, I haven't cared for the modern ones that much.
Very fair. Very
Yeah,
fair.
like I haven't seen the latest one. And there's a few others that I've missed, but just like, yeah, a lot of the modern ones, Prometheus and whatnot, I was like, nah,
Yeah,
not really.
I didn't see Prometheus and the one after Prometheus, although I did hear the new one was a little bit more back to basics. But
Yeah,
I agree. There's a lot of aliens movies out there, and like most horror movies, there's so many, and it's so hard to find the good ones. Like that's just kind of
just
how it
stick to
is.
the original, you know? Stick to the first one and you'll have your scary house in space and
I
you'll
love
be
it.
good.
It's a classic for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we got questions from the league. Tony, are you ready to be questioned?
Sure, hit me with them.
All right, Lotta, aka Lotta, no more birdie. Why not rock? I think we get this one every time you come on. Why not rock, Tony?
Why not anything else? Rock's great, you know?
Uh,
It's you can pick any genre of music. Heck, you can pick any inanimate object you want. Rock will always be a solid option.
I love it. If you're playing rock paper scissors, you got a 1 in 3 chance of winning. It's a good choice to pick.
Yeah, why not?
But Lotta's real question: what is your dream league? You've been in a bunch. You were around for a while. You took a hiatus. You're back. What is your dream league? Which kind of ones really speak to Tony?
I like mechanics that are straightforward. I don't love the overcomplicated ones. Like looking outside in at OTJ, I personally found that that would be a league that I wouldn't care for.
Hmm.
Um, I'm I like to try hard a little bit, and I like to do the extra work to win, but I'm not a spreadsheet kind of guy.
Yeah,
So once I feel like I'm losing value because I'm not putting enough effort in, then it's a little bit out of my comfort zone.
sure.
Um, I like having a theme that's pretty engaging. Um, that like adds, brings the community in on another level as well. Like some of the original, we had Innistrad ones where it was like find the cult of the vampires or something like that,
Yeah,
or
it was the Werewolf League where you had to find the werewolves, and then it was the Vampire Family League, whereas one side was the
House
Voldarens,
Markov
yeah, and the
and
Markovs. Um,
yeah.
and it was like it was like a two sides of the server fighting. Those were fun. I like those ones.
Yeah, I like those. I like those ideas. I like the house leagues. I like the
Hmm.
family leagues that like or like the team leagues. I didn't care. Did I even play the duels league? I can't remember. I like the team league. I like being a dog. Um, you know, my that's still my avatar. But yeah, I think if I were to like construct my own favorite, like my dream league, as she's saying, it would be in Kaldheim because Kaldheim is the best set.
Ooh,
Um, it would then also I want them to come up with some sort of mechanic where you can like challenge people or call people out
yeah, yeah, I like that.
and kind of like have like a hey you,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a duel. Or
yeah.
like like I actually love the feature nights and having
Hmm.
like this Valgavoth showdown. I
So
find that's a
cool.
kind of cool way of doing it. Um, but yeah, I would want a Kaldheim Norse fight for your honor kind of thing.
This sounds awesome.
That would be my dream league right there.
Ah, boy, that does sound like a good one. So cool. Tony's got great ideas. People listen to Tony.
There you go. I'll put it in the league feedback or something. League crafting.
Our next question is from Miranda L. Black Canary, the Great Watcher. How would you compare leagues now, pre and post hiatus? So you were in some leagues before, you took a break, you've been in some more leagues. Do you see a big change in maybe server mentality or league design?
I think, well, okay. I miss and this isn't necessarily something that the league is doing wrong, right or wrong, but I think it's just a power creep of modern Magic has made the original league construction of just a simple, straightforward, here's your we're gonna play from the latest set. You start with the latest set of sealed, and
Hmm.
then take your pick of a standard legal pack,
Hmm.
you know? And just with how the modern boosters, the play boosters have changed things,
Yeah.
um, and just with some creeping power level, I totally understand that that isn't a viable format as much anymore.
Hmm.
And I feel like they've had to like stretch a little bit more to um, get interesting and balanced gameplay and leagues. Um, so I feel like the mechanics are a little more complex or funky, which I don't. I liked the simplicity. I think of when I started, it was a little more straightforward. You could sign up and you're like, okay, this is what we got going. There's this other stuff sorted to the side that like I
Hmm.
could engage with, but like I know I lose, I pick a pack, add the pack. That's all I need to think about.
Yeah.
You know, I like that simplicity. So I think there was a bit of a jump post hiatus. I was out for like 3 or 4 leagues, I want to say, um, and and in server mentality, there might be a little change, but I've been finding like at MH3, there was not a lot of engagement from the community. But I'm kind of feeling a swing back from that in Duskmourne. I'm feeling like the server's a little more alive this
Yeah,
league.
I agree.
So I don't think it's a broad statement that I can just slap on there and say, oh, back in my day, we engaged every time. There were streams everywhere.
Streams ran wild across this prairie until you mined them all up.
Exactly.
Uh,
So no, overall, I don't think League has changed a ton, but I think it's a little more complex, and I enjoyed the simplicity of the old days.
which I think they have to, right? Because if not, like every league's just going to be OTJ league or whatever,
Yeah,
great. Duskmore's a great draft set. Doesn't compare to OTJ. You don't have the bonus sheet and like the super secret bonus sheet or whatever. Like you just
yeah,
you can't do it. Like it's hard. It's really hard. Play boosters messed up so many things.
exactly. It's made it quite difficult, so I understand that.
Um, any thoughts on alchemy? You play any alchemy?
Typically, as soon as Alchemy hits the format, I ignore that button for as long as it's sitting there. Um, I have occasionally entered an Alchemy draft and usually gone, "Why am I here? I'm not really here for this."
Uh,
Um,
the midweek magic this week was like pre-made alchemy decks to like push Duskmourne alchemy. And I played it and I was like, this is really fun. I was like, but these alchemy cards ruin everything. They're,
there's something else,
they're so
and
strong.
like I sort of like the idea of rebalancing a patch halfway through, like
Sure.
I play other games that do patch rebalances and stuff, like play TFT and they'll do a few balance patches each set. And that's neat and I appreciate that. But somehow with Magic, it just doesn't feel like it works. Like it just
Well,
something feels off about it, and it also feels like they're just introducing a pile of new cards that are just pushed. It's like, oh,
yeah.
this doesn't feel like you're rebalancing. You're just like, hey, what about this card? What if we wanted to make a card that like won you the game when you played it? And let's put 15 of them in the set.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just-
Here's 20 busted rares and mythics we couldn't print before, but it's going in a weird format where everything's pushed and broken, so it's fine. And who
and we're gonna
cares?
actually print them at uncommon, so everybody gets them.
Oh boy. We're getting low on time. I got to do these last ones a little quick if you don't mind.
Hmm.
Our next question is from Richard K. Preacher. Rocky Road ice cream or rock candy?
Rocky Road ice cream.
Ooh,
Uh,
I
even
like it.
though even though that's not actually like one that I typically get, but I'm not a huge fan of rock candy actually.
Now,
It's
once you're past like 10 years old, do you really mess around with rock candy? Like it's fun, but
not
it's just
really.
sugar, right? It's just sugar.
It's like crunchy sugar, which is yummy, I guess. But Rocky Road ice cream is better. Though I would personally take the marshmallow out of it and just
Ooh,
stick with like chocolate almond, and that sounds better to me.
that sounds great. Evan C. Piece of crap. What are you tuned into these days? What's Tony all about? What's Tony getting really deep into?
Um, that's a great question that I don't know quite how to answer. League, I've kind of in general, gaming wise, I'm taking a step back from trying to game less, try and play
Hmm.
less video games, but
Good goal.
focus on only doing competitive gaming.
Ooh,
So League, and then I play a Middle Earth Warhammer game.
cool.
And so going to a couple competitions for that behind me. You can
Awesome.
probably see
Yeah,
some
I
miniatures over there.
I can. He's a minis guy.
Yeah, a little bit. I got stuck in on this particular game, so it's fun. Um, so yeah, kind of sticking with that, and then but mostly because I have a little baby on the way. On
Ooh,
the other
breaking
side, you can
news.
see a crib over there. So our first child is we are expecting in December on Christmas Day.
That's amazing.
Um, so most of the rest of my time that I'm not at work and not doing competitive gaming is spent trying to, prepare for that. I just picked up a bunch of wood because I'm gonna make the crib probably tomorrow or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so fun stuff like that.
A real life miniature being added to the house. Uh,
Exactly. It moves, it talks, it poops.
uh, Cody Race would love to know if you were a double faced card, what card would you flip into? What's on the other side of Tony?
On the other side of Tony, I'm I don't know. I picture myself as like one of those, one of the more like not the regular townsfolk, the peasants, the rural farmer, something in an Innistrad set that flips over into like a okay, but at nighttime he's now a werewolf or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Now he's a
He's a
3/3.
werewolf, but he like is holding an axe or something. Um, it's I'm not anything crazy special on the other side, just a
Uh-huh.
little bigger and a little wolfier, probably. Yeah.
And real quick, our last question from Kevin Icony, 1993. Would you rather spend your day climbing a giant tree or exploring a cave filled with ancient rocks?
Giant tree. I'm a
Ooh,
climber all day long.
he's a climber. We're happy to have him. Thanks for coming on the show, Tony. Always love having you on. I hope the rest of your league goes well and you continue to win. Good luck out there, man.
Thank you. Good luck to you as well.
Oh, thank you. I need it. I need it so bad, Tony. We didn't get into it, but oh boy, I need it so bad.
Oh boy, I'll take a look at your record after this.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I love the MKM pack thing. I hadn't thought about how Disguise and Dread kind of work together. Hadn't really thought about it. I like his thought process here because I think it's easy to go, oh, enchantments and Theros, and yeah, it'll work. But I don't know. He had some great ideas, some great deck building advice, and Tony's a good player. That's the thing. Tony, he plays well. He plays good Magic. He builds good decks. Definitely a good resource for people out there who are maybe struggling. And again, he's still in the top 16, still looking to take this one possibly all the way home. And I'll be rooting for you, Tony, because why not, Rock, huh? Why not? And thank you so much again for coming on the show. I do love talking to Tony. He's come on a few times. He's just a positive person, has a great attitude, and love talking Magic with him. What can I say? Go out there, get involved. They got CubeCon. John's doing all these cubes that he's finding from the CubeCon list. They just had a side event for him the other day. They'll be having more coming up in the future. Be on the lookout for the side events. We got Foundations coming up. People are starting to post their Foundations cards. You can try to get a Foundation card going. Play in the feature matches. Play against Valgavoth. He didn't come on the show this week. I reached out to him. I called out to him, and I got no response. So I don't know. Maybe he's busy building his deck like I am and trying to tweak it just the right way. And again, I hope you're enjoying Duskmourne because we're halfway through this thing. If you're not liking it, you might be over it, and then you're not having a good time. So we got a few more weeks to have a great time. It's a great set. Maybe open your vampires. I want to see this vampire deck Tony was talking about. That sounds really cool. Who had that deck? I don't know. But again, everyone get involved in the server. Get involved. Get online. And we'll see everyone here next week for week 4 of Duskmourne. Keep it spooky. Keep it scary. Halloween is coming up. I hope everyone is ready. Until then, I hope you get to keep a good 7. Because there's a lot of card advantage here in Duskmourne. You can mold a 6 and it's not the end of the world. I don't say that a lot. Keeping a good 7's better, but in Duskmourne I think you can creep back. But that shuffler still needs to be in your favor. Because if you're manifesting Dread and you need that land and you see 2 lands on top, doesn't that feel bad? When you're like, okay, I'm stuck on 3 lands. I really need a top deck a land next turn. Okay, let's manifest. Oh, 2 lands. Okay, so if I wouldn't have done that, I could have drawn a land. Yeah, of course you can't think like that because you never know what's on top and you can't judge based off of that. Manifesting Dread is so fun, isn't it? You look for big creatures, you put stuff in the yard. What a simple and elegant mechanic Manifest Dread is. It's a little better than Morph. It's the end of the show. Why am I doing this? But it's like a little bit better than Morph because it does more. You get to put a card in your graveyard and it gives you a little bit of selection. But also you can only do that so many times until like you're kind of milling yourself out a little bit. And maybe you're putting cards underneath that you don't want. You know, maybe you're putting it down a 2/2 that was actually a bomb room, and you wanted to draw that card. Like, so much good play. What a good set Duskmourne is. I love it. I hope you do too. We'll see everybody here next week for week 4 Duskmourne. Bye, everybody.